Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. I did not know I'd be making this video, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the lighting right. We are running down to the wire, but boy, do I have a show for you. Let me get this lighting right, because I told you so. I told you, fine folk, that this was not going to end well. That's why I said we needed capital punishment in this case. But I've got a theory for you guys, and this theory I am going to back up with hard facts. And I think, and I don't like to get ahead of myself because I don't like to disappoint. I'd rather just give you what I got and let you choose whether you think you are moved or not. But I'm gonna put myself out there, people. I think I'm going to blow your mind because I believe that a deal was made. I believe a deal was made that if we knew the details of the deal, it would shock us to the core. But I'm going to prove to you, in my opinion, allegedly, that William J., we know who he is, Mr. Dirt Under the Bridge. Yes, William J. made a deal with the devil. Stephan Sterns. This is going to be a crazy show. Because when I first started covering this, you guys told me, oh, William J. has a case. He's a rock star. And I said, I don't know. Because that's the guy that tried to make a deal with Sarah Boone. And then he turned out he became Mr.
Dirt Under the Bridge.
Oh, yeah, he became Mr. Dirt Under the Bridge. And then some of your eyes started to open as to what type of prosecutor you were dealing with. And I knew what type of prosecutor he was dealing with because I've dealt with prosecutors like that before. He's a wheeler and a dealer. And he doesn't like trial. He likes to make deals and make cases go away because all these cases are to him is
dirt under the bridge.
Oh, yeah, but what I'm about to show you guys is going to blow your mind. So right now, Stephan Sterns is in a nice air-conditioned, top-of-the-line cupcake prison, ladies and gentlemen. He's got candy and Christ and only the essentials. Big shout out to the research crew for the nice background art. Lord of mercy, boy, we got a show for you guys. So let me set it up right here, guys, because I hope you're paying attention because we're going to be serving some truth bombs to you guys today. All right, so how did this first come to our attention? What made me believe that a deal was struck with Stephan Sterns that was going to ensure that he had the best experience in prison? Now, before I go to why I think before I show you the proof that leads us up to where we are now, in my opinion, it's my proof in my opinion, I want to tell you why I think William J. struck a deal with Stephan Sterns. See, this was a really good case on paper. Lots of evidence, lots of facts to show that the person who did the crime, this guy behind me, Stephan Sterns, did the crime. The problem is court isn't just about open and shut, here's your evidence, call it a day. You have to actually go through a trial. You have to call witnesses. You have to do direct examination of those witnesses. That's what the prosecution does. And then you have to do a cross-examination. That's often what the defense does. Now, it could be reversed because if it's a defense's witness, it would be direct for them and a cross for the prosecution. Either way, you have to go through the process. And what did we have wrong with this case, ladies and gentlemen? We had a lot wrong with it. Our number one witness was a mother that everybody who has followed this case pretty much uniformly believes was the worst mother on the planet. You'd have to put her on a stand. This is also a person that most people, not all, but most people believe either knew or should have known or knew but turned a blind eye to the ordeal of Madeline Soto. And I said it that way out of respect for YouTube's terms of service. But those of you who are following this case, you know exactly what I mean, what Madeline Soto was going through. How can you put her on the stand? Would a defense attorney not tear her apart and possibly make her implicate herself in a crime? Now, if you didn't call her as a state's witness, the defense would definitely have called her as a witness for Stephan Sterns. And they would then expect her to testify that she never had any idea that Stephan Sterns was doing anything to Madeline and that he treated Madeline like gold. How do we know this? Because that's pretty much what she said to police throughout her various interrogations. She didn't want to believe that Stephan Sterns would do that to Madeline. And then what would happen with the prosecution? The prosecution would then have to now treat her as a hostile witness and cross-examine her. Now, what are the other witnesses we have? We have another young lady that lived there who didn't see anything happen, didn't hear anything. Then you had another victim. We covered her. She was a migrant from Venezuela, and she didn't see anything either. And during her witness allocution, all she had to say was, oh my God, I traveled to get here. I thought I was going to get a good life. And then Stephan Sterns took a picture of me under the door. Woe is me. We're here for Madeline Soto. She was nice too. Remember that? It's not exactly the best witness list to go through as a prosecutor. But he was still supposed to take this case to trial. Because regardless of the witnesses he had, he would have gotten that death sentence. But William J. is Mr.
Dirt under the bridge.
So he had a deal that Stephan Sterns couldn't pass up. And I think that deal was for him to go to only the lightest prisons that Florida had to offer. And I'm going to show you guys why I believe we are where we're at right now. So first of all, let me get this knucklehead from behind me and get back to the normal strategic eyes picture. And let me move myself over. Sorry for your patience, guys. I appreciate you. Perfect. Make one more adjustment on this screen right here. Display. Perfect. Looks good. All right, great. Now, the first time we were introduced to William J., we met him through this case.
Just in, the woman accused of zipping up her boyfriend in a suitcase, killing him, sends a handwritten letter to the judge who sentenced her to life in prison. Sarah Boone is accusing that judge of being biased. Fox 35's Marlisa Goldsmith is joining us live here in the studio now. So Marlisa, you've been going through that 28-page letter. What does it say?
Well, Luann, she's saying a lot of things in it, including she's the victim. Sarah Boone was just sentenced last week to life in prison for zipping her boyfriend up in a suitcase and murdering him. She took the stand during her sentencing, pleading for a lesser sentence. Boone asked for forgiveness and claimed she was the victim of abuse. But Judge Michael Kranick sentenced Boone to the maximum punishment, life behind bars. Today, Boone sent the judge a 28-page letter, which included everything, word for word, that she said during her sentencing.
Why am I playing Sarah Boone? Well, the attorney on the other side of the defense table, the prosecutor, was William J. And some of you guys are hearing what's being told on this news briefing. You're saying, oh, but that's justice, right? She got life in prison without the possibility of parole. But for those of you who actually followed this case, you would know that William J., mind you, this case, this woman zipped her boyfriend up, pretended like they was playing a game. They were drunk. He put her in a suitcase. He zipped the suit. She put him in a suitcase. He agreed, thinking they were playing a game. She zipped the suitcase up. He was unable to open it. She then spent hours watching him slowly dying in the suitcase, pleading with her to be let free, explaining to her that he couldn't breathe, explaining to her that he was dying. And guess what? Sarah Boone recorded the entire ordeal on her cell phone. With all of that evidence, William J. still offered her 12 years in prison. 12 years in prison. She would have been out of prison in 7 years. The only reason why she didn't take the deal is because she's Sarah Boone.
So added notes for Judge Kranick, calling him ignorant, saying his mind was made up before she even spoke last week. In the letter, she says, quote, by your clear error and full-blown unfair bias against me since your involvement in my Crucible case as a whole, I have been unsuccessful in receiving anything from you as a supposed fair and neutral judge.
So she's even blowing up the judge. She's going crazy, but it's okay. All right, William J., He ended up going to trial because Sarah Boone is nuts. Sarah Boone fired like, what, 8 attorneys or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. It was quite a bit of attorneys. Finally, she settled on an attorney. She went to trial. William J. got life without the possibility of parole. Okay, I got you. No problem. We're going to move on to the next one. All right, before we move on to the next one, guys, please hit that like button, support the channel. Please do. We're trying to get into the algorithm. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and we have less than 2,200 subscribers to go to get us to our goal. So please do hit that subscribe button. Anyway, let's keep going and hit that like button too. So then I had that in the back of my head, and the entire time that the Madeline Soto case is going, I said, this guy is a problem, William J. No disrespect to him on a personal level. We're professionals. I just don't agree with his approach to these prosecutions. All right. So then as we're following the Madeline Soto case, this happened.
Drama in court as Brian Kohberger pleads guilty to stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death.
The murder of Madison Mogan, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
For the murder of Kaylee Gonsalves, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
The murder of Xana Kernodle, a human being, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
The murder of Ethan Chapin, a human being, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Brian Kohberger appeared detached as he walked into that courtroom and seemed to show no emotion as he admitted to killing each of those 4 college students. He didn't make eye contact with his family members seated in the front row or with any of the victims' relatives, but one of those relatives was grief-stricken, wiping away tears as Kohberger entered each of those guilty pleas.
He was just really cold, and he looked very pale and just no emotion when he's admitting to 4 brutal murders, and I didn't see him look over at the victims' families either.
The judge complained about the
That guy has the most perfect hair on the planet. Like, I'm jealous. I wish I had a mullet like that. I'm bald. Let's keep going.
public outcry over the plea deal, saying his hands are tied.
This court cannot require the prosecutor to seek
Like something similar, public outcry over the plea deal. We were all upset with the plea deal that Stephan Sterns got, but the judge is saying he had no choice. So let's keep going.
the death penalty.
The shocking plea deal means Kohberger will be sentenced to 4 consecutive life prison terms without possibility of parole. But he is not required to reveal details of his horrific crimes. And that is angering the victim's family.
So I looked at this when it happened, and I was like, and I did a show. So go back in the archives, and you will see it. I did a show, and I said, this is the template for Stephan Sterns. It's on camera. It's in my archives. It's on YouTube for all eternity until YouTube decides to delete my channel. God forbid, right? But it can happen. Came close a few times, guys. I said it. I said, this is the archetype for Stephan Sterns. Let's keep going.
Families. The father of 21-year-old Kaylee Gonsalves called on the judge to reject the plea bargain, calling it a deal with the devil.
You don't think 4 life sentences is justice?
No, of course not. It's daycare. Prison is daycare.
It's daycare. Now, I wonder, what is this guy's profession? Is he a former correction officer? Because it seems like only correction officers and former correction officers understand what really happens in prison. See, a lot of you guys got this vision of what you think incarceration is. But for those of us in the know, we know that it is daycare. But let's keep going.
Steve, if you could tell the judge one thing today, what would it be?
Do what's right. Do what you know. I mean, 4 people died in their sleep.
There was an emotional scene on the...
And I know he's not a correction officer. I was just saying that because he seems to know what we know. But let's keep going.
courthouse steps as other members of the Gonsalves family entered, but he stayed outside in protest. But the families are divided. The family of Madison Mogan is happy with the deal.
We support the plea agreement 100%.
Many questions remain
like Maddie's dad, but okay, this is his right. I'm not in any way saying that he shouldn't feel that way. It's his right. That's what he wanted. Let's keep
unanswered. Going. Do you think the family members will ever hear why?
All right, so boom. That was in the back of my head. Now, a little bit before this happened, let's go back to William J. Because this was a part of my thought process. I should have probably played this right after the next video, but it's all good. You guys will get what I'm putting down. A little bit before this happened, a few months before Kohberger was sentenced, and I said that this is the archetype of what Stephan Sterns is going to get. this interview happened that really made me understand the true character of William J. Because in my experience, I had never, ever, ever heard of a prosecutor doing a proffer with a defendant or witness or somebody who could possibly be a co-defendant without knowing what the person was going to say before they actually said it. Like I told you guys, there's a lot of gentleman-like conversation and gentlewoman conversation that happen off the record between prosecutors and defense attorneys where the truth kind of comes out so that they can make deals for their clients. You can't use it in court. It's never existed, but it's like, wink, wink, my person might be able to give you this if you give me that, right? That's usually the conversation that happens before proffers. But William J. gave Jennifer Soto a proffer, limited immunity, without knowing what she was going to say. So let's listen to the beginning part of this so we can understand why we're at where we're at right now.
In Kissimmee, it's 8:57 a.m. It is April 18th, 2024. I am William J. I am the division chief for the homicide unit. With me is Danielle Pinnell.
Hold up. Who did he say he was?
Dirt under the bridge.
Ah, Mr. Dirt under the bridge. Okay, we got the right video. Let's keep playing it.
Also from the homicide unit in Kissimmee. Can the detectives identify themselves?
Detective Mark Morris.
Detective Kyle Smallwood.
And with us is
Jennifer Soto.
With your attorney,
Matthew Spark.
All right. We went over some things before we went on the record and told you the opportunity to ask any questions that you needed to ask. If you need a break to consult with your attorney, that is absolutely fine. We'll all step out of the room, turn off our recorders, and let you exercise your constitutional right to have counsel. There's no problem with that. There's water fountains here. There's restrooms. I don't know if you're a smoker or not, but like if you get desperate, we can make an outside break time. But we are.
Somebody said that Jennifer Soto had an award-winning former prosecutor. I mean, I didn't know that. I don't know all the politics of Florida, but just from hearing how he was handling William J. in this proffer interview, I knew that he was commanding the room. And I also told you guys when I did my analysis of this video, check that out in the archives, I said I've never been in a proffer where the defense attorney was basically controlling the tempo of the interview. Usually the defense attorney is just there silent because it's agreed upon that the person has to answer all the questions truthfully and they have immunity. Nothing they say can be used against them. So therefore the attorney's like, okay, we're here. And then he shuts up in the corner. And then you basically interview the subject or the witness or whoever like you pretty much own them. Because once again, they're given immunity. So there's no reason for them to have any protection. There's no nothing. You give it all up because guess what? You're protected. You're never going to be prosecuted for what you say. So I could see how this guy was an award-winning prosecutor because clearly he was running circles around William J. But let's keep going.
Are kind of under time constraints. With that all said, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you. All right, this is an investigative subpoena, so you've been compelled to be here. And in our country, under the 5th Amendment and the 14th Amendment as applied to you under the Florida Constitution as well, you cannot be forced to incriminate yourself. So anything you say today can't and won't be used against you unless you just don't tell us the truth. And I've already explained to your attorney, Mr. Bark, whether or not you've made any inconsistent statements in the past, that is dirt under the bridge, and either a misdemeanor was committed.
Dirt under the bridge. Let's go back one more second. I almost missed this interview. It's like I'm going down memory lane. Come on, give it to us one more time, William.
Mr. Bark, whether or not you've made any inconsistent statements in the past, that is dirt under the bridge, and either a misdemeanor was committed or it wasn't, but we're not going to be using that as a basis of some sort of perjury by false statements, because those other charges wouldn't be perjury anyways. So the most important thing today is to tell the truth. I also explained derivative use immunity, which means if you said that there was a gun, and obviously there's no gun in this case, buried in your attorney's yard, we couldn't go dig up that gun if you told us that, oh yeah, there's the gun that was used is right there. We wouldn't be able to do that. We would have to show that we learned all those things independently from this interview, okay? Do you have any questions? All right, so let's get started.
Before you start, let me just make sure we're clear on the record. Off the record, we had discussed our position on the concerns we have. Ms. Soto was interrogated by law enforcement previously.
This is so intelligent, just so sharp and so intelligent what this attorney just did, because in a second, William J. is going to basically, in my opinion, transition from derivative use immunity to a quasi-total immunity, transactional immunity, to a quasi-transactional immunity, which basically means a full immunity. In my opinion, let's go, listen to it.
She was under a tremendous amount of duress and stress, being that her child was missing and then she was found deceased. There's been media hysteria about this. There's been people asking for her to be prosecuted, tarred, feathered, executed. And so
we never asked for that, the counselor, but whatever. Okay, I hear you.
That said, we have the concern that you brought up about.
It goes back to all of her bad statements. He's going to call it out like, hey, can you clarify on that?
If there's something said inconsistent today, not being used against her for filing a false police report.
All right, so for example, if she said something that was false then, and we have no idea that it was false now before this interview, but she comes in and admits that it was false today, we can't use these statements or that admission that it was false against her, just like we couldn't use anything else against her from this interview. Okay. All right.
Boom. 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 We're not going after you for anything you said that was inconsistent in the past. Okay. So when I saw that, I said, man, listen, this guy made a deal with Jennifer Soto, bro? For reals? I was like, hold on here. Jen was unemployed for most of Maddie's life. Jen was sleeping in the bed for most of Maddie's life. And Stephan Sterns has thousands of images destroying this young woman from age 8 all the way until 12. And of course, we all know that she was taken away from us a few days after her 13th birthday. I said, how is it possible that Jen didn't know or have an idea that this was happening? Why would you be so quick to make a deal with her? What's going on here? Well, then, after all this stuff happened, and after I told you guys that Stephan Sterns' guilty plea would be the archetype of his guilty plea was basically Brian Kohberger, called it out, then weeks later he's pleading guilty. This happened.
Thank you. Let's place Mr. Sterns under, he's been previously placed under oath.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to make a brief statement. I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before. I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
I have nothing but sorrow for her loss, and I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well, and she truly was a joy. I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her. And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory.
I laugh because it's such big bullcrap. That's basically it. Let's listen to that again. I'm sorry.
Any errors, corrections, or omissions to the score sheet? Not a 4. Thank you.
Wait, Judge. You didn't let me speak. I got something to say, Judge. Let me speak, Judge.
Let's place Mr. Sterns under, he's been previously placed under oath.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to make a brief statement. I I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before. I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead. But unfortunately, that's just not how he works. I have nothing but sorrow for her loss, and I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well, and she truly was a joy. I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her. And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice.
Oh, boy. The choir in heaven? What is he talking about?
I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory. And I apologize for all the pain.
All right. So he got a deal. He pled guilty. He got life in prison without the possibility of parole. He got to plead no contest. He did not, I said pled guilty. That's not accurate. He never admitted guilt. He never gave a confession for what he did. He never explained why he did it. He got to plead no contest. And then he was given life without the possibility of parole on all charges, the unaliving of Maddie as well as the ex-abuse of Maddie. But you guys thought that that was it. But that's not it. It's far from it. And I'll tell you why it's not it. Because I looked up the first institution that he went to. And then we're looking at the new institution, and there's something they have in common. See, everybody's saying that he got transferred to I call it a cupcake prison, you know, a Holiday Inn prison, get all these different names people are calling it. But people weren't realizing that the previous prison he was in was not a max prison. So I want to go ahead and look something up. Let me go ahead. It says FDC, so let me pull it over here. FDC, Florida Department of Corrections, has 134 facilities statewide, including 49 major institutions, 16 annexes, 7 contractor operators, goes through the whole thing of their structure. These facilities incarcerate felons convicted and sentenced for more than a year. These inmates are transported from a county jail and enter the system through one of 4 male or 1 female reception centers strategically located throughout the state. Upon arrival at a reception center, this is important, guys. This is very important because this shows you that, in my opinion, I have no evidence of this. This is just my opinion, that there was a deal struck. We know that there was a deal struck because Stephan Sterns pled no contest to all the crimes he committed against Maddie and was given life without the possibility of parole. But we don't know every stipulation of that deal. And prosecutors can make recommendations to the Department of Corrections, which they oftentimes do honor. And I think it would not be a stretch for Sterns to say, my life is in danger, I've got a target on my back, I would like to go to nice prisons. Now, listen to this important part. Upon arrival at reception center, an inmate is processed, tested, evaluated by health services, assessed for program needs, and his/her custody security risk is determined. This is exactly like New York State prison system, especially that last part. His/her custody, which means security risk, is determined. Custody is determined, key word, listen to this. Custody is determined by reviewing the seriousness of their offenses, length of sentence, time remaining to serve, prior criminal record, escape history, prison adjustment, and other factors. This is exactly like New York State Corrections, so I'm very familiar with this. If you come into All right, well, let me finish this before I give you my commentary and we move forward. The most serious offenders with the longest sentences and those least likely to adjust to institutional life are placed in more secure facilities. Based on the result of this process, the inmate is then transferred to the appropriate facility. So they're looking at the seriousness of your crime, the amount of time that you're serving, and they're going to put you in a more secure facility based on those factors and others. Now tell me, ladies and gentlemen, was the crimes against Maddie not the most serious crimes that a human being could commit to another human being? It was. You have pedophile behavior for years, and then you have unaliving. Why did they send him to Appalachia? This prison houses minimum and medium security inmates. Stephan Sterns, based on his crime, is a maximum security inmate. In New York State prison system, if you come out of a reception center with the charges that Stephan Sterns came out and you went to a minimum/medium, you would be a government informant or you had a deal. You're a government informant or you had a deal.
Oh my God!
There's no way on this green earth that a dude sentenced to life without the possibility of parole who raped an adolescent and engaged in murder would leave a reception center only being in prison for a few weeks. He was in jail for a long time, but he was in prison for a few weeks. And after being in prison for a few weeks, go to a minimum/medium security prison.
Does that make sense?
It doesn't make any sense unless he made a deal.
Does that make sense?
Ooh, but it doesn't stop there. Look at these charges. Look what Stephan Sterns was convicted of. From 2019 to 2024. Ex abuse, ex abuse, ex abuse, ex abuse, ex abuse. CSAM, 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 and schmurder to top it off on 2/25/2024. And then what do they do, ladies and gentlemen? They send him here to Wakulla Correctional Institution Annex. He was already in a minimum medium prison, even though he's a max security inmate. He was already in a cupcake prison, but it wasn't cupcake enough for Stephan Sterns. He was already in a cupcake prison, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying it was perfect. There's going to be some guys that did time in that prison like, oh, it ain't that nice. It ain't a max. It's not a super max. It's not the roughest prison in Florida. It's a prison that houses minimum and medium security prison inmates. And then they send him to Cupcake Land. New unit for mentally ill inmates opened at Wakulla Correctional Institution Annex. The Florida Department of Corrections has opened a specialized unit to treat mentally ill inmates at Wakulla Correctional Institution Annex. Now, guys, was Stephan Sterns mentally ill? Was he schizophrenic? Was he just a pedophile? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just asking questions. Let's keep going. The new residential continuum of care treatment facilities made up of housing units that provide safer and more effective treatment for inmates with serious mental illness, the agency announced Wednesday. The facility is a testament to the department's commitment to better serve inmates with severe mental illness. FDC Secretary Julie Jones said the housing units will not only create a safer environment for officers and fellow inmates, but they will better prepare these inmates for reintegration into general population and communities upon release. This is a place where you're transitioning inmates to one day go home. Is Stephan Sterns going home? Nah.
Oh, hell no!
Or we hope. We hope he's not going home. But let's keep going. Guys, hit that like button. We have over 700 people watching this live stream right now. Please hit the like button so we can get into that algorithm. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. The RCC provides evidence-based mental health services to reduce symptoms, severity, and improve behavioral functioning. In addition to having an emotional support dog for inmates, Maddie had a dog. Maddie doesn't have a dog no more because Stephan Sterns took her away from her dog and her family. Now Stephan Sterns has a support dog. In addition to having an emotional support dog for Stephan Sterns, the RCC features a wide range of programs including art therapy, music therapy. So what does that mean, guys? They're going to be in a room like you're in art class and they're going to be painting their feelings, guys. Music therapy, adult basic education, and life and employability skills training. We're going to get to those super chats. I see you guys. I'm not going to forget you. I promise you. Groups and clubs include a reader's theater for inmates to read plays aloud. Poetry. Wellness groups. Some inmates wait decades to have the privilege to be in a prison like this. Stephan Sterns has only been in state prison for a few weeks before he was sent to this cupcake prison number 2. Because remember, the one he was at before, Appalachia, was not a hardcore prison. Stephan Sterns has not done hard time yet. He may never do hard time because it may be a part of a deal, ladies and gentlemen. The facility is made up of 4 dorms and houses approximately 540 inmates. So he went from a facility that had well over 1,000 inmates to a facility that has 540 inmates. The $16 million in funding for the RCC and 104 additional positions to staff the specialized unit was recommended by Governor Rick Scott and approved by the legislature in 2017, according to an FDC statement. The money covers inmate health services and security staffing. An old dorm was renovated with existing appropriations, said an FDC spokesman. Officers within the unit have completed the American Correctional Association Correctional Behavioral Health Certification. So they're going to be extra nice guards. They're going to be real nice, real understanding guards. They're not going to be the rough and tumble guys in the max prison. Like when I worked at Sing Sing Correctional Facility, we'd be like, lock in on the count. They're not going to be locking in and on the counting. They're going to be like, hey, guys, can you please get into your dorm so we can do the count, guys? Time for us to do the count, okay? Appreciate you guys. That's what they're going to be doing. Which better trains them to securely supervise and assist in the treatment of these inmates. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sterns is in cupcake land. So big shout out to the research crew who put together this amazing diagram that basically compares the different services that are available to the inmates in both Appalachia, East Unit, and the Wakula Annex. I apologize if I sound crazy when I say it. I said Wakula, I don't know. Maybe that's not how you say it. Wakula? Is that how you say it? Wakala? Wakala? It's probably a Wakala. That's what it is. Not a Wakula, it's a Wakala. Okay. All right. So, excellent job by research crew. Guys, please. Oh, let me put that up there. Sorry. Please do consider giving coffee. We do appreciate you guys. The link is up there on the top of the screen. Just click that link. I think it's a clickable link. Should be a clickable link. Click the link. Give some coffee. Support the channel. July 21st, 2025, plead no contest to murder one and guilty to all other 20 counts. Received 21 concurrent life sentences without parole. July 23rd, 2025, moved to CFRC Central Florida Reception Center. Now, every inmate has to go to a reception center, whether that's in Florida or New York State. That's how they're organized, right? Reception centers is where you get classified. It's where they find out what type of inmate you are and where you should go. And usually, most often, people with Stephan Sterns crime and sentences go to maximum security prisons, but not in this case, because guess what? Madeline Soto was
dirt under the bridge.
Oh, yes, she was dirt under the bridge to those prosecutors in Florida who made a deal with the devil, in my opinion. Let's keep going. August 19th, 2025, he was moved to Appalachia East Unit. On September 8th, 2025, a month later, less than a month later, he was moved to Wakulla Annex, Cupcake Land. All right, let's keep going. Let's do the comparisons. So they have less programs in Wakulla, but we know that they're more based towards the mental wellness of the inmate than this general population type facility, which is Appalachia. They have vocational Appalachia, which is cabinet making. There's none in Wakulla because you have to pretend, you have to focus on your inner well-being. So there's no vocational. There's no forcing you to do a trade. You just get to relax and be a part of clubs and read poetry. They have no substance abuse program in Appalachia, but they do have cognitive behavior intervention, which is called Gateway. They also have Unlock Your Thinking, which is Gateway Foundation. And then they have Victim Impact, which is Gateway Foundation as well. That's what they have in Wakulla. Then in Appalachia, the chaplaincy services, they have Anger Resolution, Bill Gothard Seminars, Experiencing God, and Financial Freedom. Interesting. Well, over here in Wakulla, they have AA Substance Abuse Program, Bible Study, Non-Denominational, Catholic Studies, Catholic Worship Services, Celebrate Recovery, Chapel Library, Christian Worship Services, Discipleship Class, Global Leadership Summit. Global Leadership Summit. All right, let's keep going. Harvest of Life, Jewish Sabbath, Jummah, Malachi Dads, Messianic Jewish Sabbath, Messianic Jewish Study, Miami International Theological Seminary, and Praise Team. Let's keep going. Talim. What's a Talim? Anybody know? Put that in the chat. What is a Talim? The Truth Project, Video Library Religious Study, and Wicca Study. So if you want to be a witch, you could be a witch in there. They got witch studies. You could be a Wicca witch. Oh, my gosh. Listen, let's keep going. Institutional betterment. They got anger management in Appalachia. They have no such thing in Wakulla. They don't care if you got an attitude in Wakulla, apparently. The certificate programs is Into Work, Serve Safe. And in Wakulla, they have 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, 7 Habits on the Inside, 100-hour transition program, Gavel Club, Inspiration for Change, and Library. And the credential programs, they have Farm Worker, Plant Growth and Development, Small Engine Repair Worker, and Textile Repair Worker. They don't have none of those stuff in Wakulla because, once again, they don't want you being active building things or fixing things or cleaning things or maintaining things. They want you to build and fix yourself from your soul to your brain to what you present to the world. They want you to holistically heal yourself. And that's where Stephan Sterns is right now, ladies and gentlemen. And I truly believe with all my heart that he's there. He's there because he struck a deal with William J's prosecutorial team. It does not make sense.
Does that make sense?
It does not make sense.
Does that make sense?
For Stephan Sterns, having pled no contest to the horrible crimes he committed against Madeline Soto, to go into a Florida reception center and be sent immediately to a prison that serves minimum and medium security inmates, and then less than a month later be sent to a mental health cupcake prison like Wakulla. Now, I want to read some of these super chats out because you guys are amazing. We appreciate you supporting the channel. And then I want to do something that Aki absolutely hates, but we love pissing Aki off. We're going to do a call-in show, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a call-in show because I want to hear how you guys feel about what we have just uncovered through keeping an eye on Stephan Sterns. Let's keep going, guys. Big shout out to all the new members we have. We have Grandma Grizzly, who's now a recruit member. We appreciate you. Welcome to the channel. Sublime48's been around for a while, celebrating 5 months as a recruit. Bon gave a $5 super chat, says, I was walking in my parking garage earlier this night. I remembered your video this morning and immediately put my phone down. Thanks for the reminder. You're a very smart woman, Bon. Thank you for that super chat. Remember, keep your head on a swivel and always take care of yourself because there are monsters out there who will use your weaknesses and your inattentiveness to take advantage of you. Let's keep going. Nina Drew with 199 super chat says, did his dad, being former LE, influence? His dad has no power. His dad was a cop for like a year, less than that. And then he went into real estate. He has no power. He has no influence. Stephan Sterns made a deal with the devil, or rather, the prosecutors made a deal with Stephan Sterns, who's the devil. There we go. Or did I really mean it the other way? It depends on how you look at it. But anyway, let's keep going. Jay the Italian, I think her name is Cookie, right? Jay the Italian Cookie with a $10 super chat says, in my opinion, someone is going down for this epic failure. No, they're not. William J. did the opposite of what a prosecutor should do. How does this help the victims? In my opinion, someone is going down for failing. Nobody's going anywhere. Even though I appreciate that $10 super chat, you are amazing. Nobody's going anywhere because, number one, the deal was approved by the family. The deal was approved by the family. And number two, you cannot question prosecutors. You cannot sue prosecutors. You cannot do anything to prosecutors. They have immunity. That is the way it's set up in our Constitution. Done, finish. If you blow somebody away in the middle of a street and a prosecutor says we're not charging, guess what? You are scot-free. That is the power of a prosecutor in these United States of America. MM Claire with 199 super chat says, I wonder if the families made the deal. I don't know. I have no idea. And remember, we have no proof that a deal happened. This is just my opinion that a deal occurred. My opinion. That's it. No evidence to back it up, but my intuition, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie MP with a $10 super chat says, you're the best strategic, stays on that arse. I appreciate you. You are amazing. And Akira with a $10 Canadian super chat says, what did SS have to give the DA to get such a deal? ? Something about Jen's involvement? Possibly. Names of people he may have traded pics with? It's possible too. This is truly disturbing. Those are all good questions, and also questions we don't have answers to. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you. I just posted the phone number. It's not showing though. It's weird. Let's try that again. We had somewhat of a glitch. There we go. Perfect. Oh, no, I posted before. I just didn't see it. I'm pinning the phone number. The phone number is 518-288-5906. That's 518-288-5906. I want to hear from you guys. Call into the call-in show. I want to hear what you think about this. Oh, sorry. We had the do not disturb on. Let's turn that off. Now you guys can call in. We appreciate you. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you think about Stephan Sterns' possible deal with prosecutors. And let me make sure that I'm using the right browser. You guys may be trying to call in, and I think I screwed up on the browser. So let me go ahead and try this again. Perfect. It's going to work now perfectly fine. All right. So now we got the right browser open. I use Chrome when I use the calling phone number. So yes, please call in. We want to hear from you guys. 518-288-5906. That's 888-866-5906. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you guys think about my theory that it might have been a deal that was struck between Stephan Sterns and the prosecution. I find it extremely improbable that Stephan Sterns would be put in a minimum/medium security prison right out the gate outside of reception, having served 0 time in state prison, and then less than a month later be transferred over to Cupcake Land. I want to hear what you guys think about this. So go ahead and call in. Usually we have 1,001 people trying to call in. We want to hear from you guys. Don't be shy. I know it's late. If your husbands are sleeping, whisper. We won't tell them that you're talking to us on True Crime with Strategic. We'll keep you a little secret. All right. What's going on, caller? Welcome to True Crime with Strategic. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Strategic. This is Stony Baloney Barb. I was calling because I was wondering, in Cupcake Land, do you think there's still a chance of him getting like prison justice? Like, is he still afraid to bend over in the shower, do you think?
Well,
from your experience as a corrections officer?
Well, all right. So I don't think that anybody is going to violate him. What Stephan Sterns has to watch out for is extortion. They're going to extort him. They're going to beat him up and extort him. It's possible that in this facility there might be some individuals that might not take lightly to him, but I don't know the layout of this facility. And since it's a mental health facility, most likely it's either got isolation cells, or like everybody's in their own cell, and then maybe after a while they'll graduate into dormitories. But I'm not sure what the layout is, so I really could not give you a good answer on what like the security risk is inside a specific facility. But you got to understand that a lot of these facilities that he's been in are facilities where people have an end date. They're going to go home. If he was in a max prison, there'd be a lot of lifers there who don't care. They have nothing to look forward to. But he, in his previous prison and in the prison he's at right now, people are going home. Guys are not going to jeopardize going home just to give prison justice. When they got a year to go, 2 years to go, 5 years to go, that may seem like a long time to us, but 5 years is short time for an inmate. They're not going to do anything that's going to result in them getting extra charges and extending their stay in prison. So I would not be too, in the prisons he's in, I would not basically feel like hang my head on somebody doing something to Stephan Sterns. He seems to have been given a really, really good deal. Really good deal. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that's disappointing, but I appreciate your answer. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Stony. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, man. Yeah, next caller, man. You know, it's hard to answer those questions because, you know, I don't know how the Florida system works. I could just draw from my experience working as a corrections officer and a corrections investigator. But if he's in minimums and minimum/mediums, dudes want to go home. They want to go home. They don't want to play, you know, prison vigilante. They want to go home to their families. Anyway, let's keep going. Somebody else call in. If you guys don't want to call in, we'll end the show. It's on you. You guys dictate what we do. We've been here for 53 minutes, about to be an hour soon. You guys know how time flies when you're talking a lot. So we definitely want to hear from you. So if you don't mind, call in. We want to hear what your theories are. We want to know how you feel about this. But if you guys are all called out, it's late night, ready to go to bed, then we'll call it a day and we'll end the show. So let me know what you guys want to do. All right. Let me see here. What's going on, Cola? Welcome to True Crime Strategic. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Stony again.
Hey,
she missed me. I am really curious. What in like the law, whether it's Florida or federal, is it that the public can't know these deals? Like, what is it that's preventing it from being public knowledge that he made a deal?
I mean, a lot of these deals, like the minutia of the deals, are verbal. So William J. doesn't have to admit that he, assured Stephan Sterns and Stephan Sterns' counsel that he would put in a good word for him with Department of Corrections, allegedly. I don't know if this really happened, but I'm just saying, to put him in a less violent prison. These are the things that get these deals done. Maybe without these assurances, Sterns would say, well, you know what? I know you're going to find me guilty, but I'll draw out this process. Trial is not easy. And so a lot of prosecutors don't want to have to go to trial if they don't want to. If they don't have to. Going to trial is not easy. It's a very labor-intensive process that's both physically and emotionally draining on prosecutors and defense attorneys. It's not easy. You have to memorize every detail of the case. Not only that, but you have to prepare thousands of questions for all the different people that are going to be involved. So, I don't know. It is what it is. There's another caller coming. I'm going to grab that caller, all right?
Thank you. Good night.
Right, thank you. Hey, what's going on, caller? What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Strategic. This is Nina Drew calling from Florida.
Hey, what's up, Nina?
Listen, you have a great show. I just want to tell you that.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I'm a big fan. So
you're not a fan.
I just want to say
you're a supporter. Remember, I'm just a dumb cop. I'm not a celebrity.
I am. Okay.
I'm teasing. Go ahead. What you got for me?
Well, and also, by the way, I'm a transplant down here from New York, Long Island.
Oh, okay,
so,
cool.
So I see the two different, worlds down here, and first of all, you discounted my first thought that his father being law enforcement, before that could have been an influence, but you didn't think so.
Yeah, I said, I had very brief conversations with the Sterns. I've always been open about that with the father. He was very respectful to me. As you guys can see, it doesn't stop me from saying how I feel because I've gone after that family before and after the conversations. But he's a very respectful guy, and he told me his history, and I tried my best to do my own research. And basically, he was first a dispatcher for the police department, and then he became a police officer. They didn't even have a police academy at that time. And he was just there for less than a year before he moved on to be in real estate. So they weren't paying him any money, and he had there was an opportunity to go make a lot of money in real estate, so he left. So he wasn't there long enough to get friends, no prosecutors. And I've been in law enforcement for a long time. I know prosecutors, I know judges, because I've been around. They've seen me in their courtroom. I've worked with them. He wasn't there that long. And lastly, he did that in the 60s.
Oh.
That's a long time ago.
All right, okay, all right, so my other thought was that, this is just a thought process, that I don't understand. Even though she got Jen Soto got that
derivative use immunity.
Called? Yes. Even though she got that, she said that while talking to Kevin, I think his name was, that
William J.
She sent her daughter to sleep with Sterns because she needed good sleep. That's child neglect. That's abuse.
It's only neglect and abuse if you know what was happening. It's inappropriate. It's not advisable. Most parents with common sense would never do it. But if, let's say, they did have slumber parties and this case never happened because Sterns never touched her, it wouldn't be neglect. It would just be two people sleeping in the same room. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diminish it. I'm just trying to look at it from a legal aspect. It's not neglect unless you knew it, but go ahead.
And also I wanted to add that there was one of the girls that was a roommate who called Jen's sister and told her about Maddie going in the room with him alone. And she had also mentioned it to Jen, and Jen thanked her for,
Right.
Yeah, thank you for the, info, but we're good.
Right.
So that sister does have knowledge because the sister was told. Jen's sister was told by that roommate.
Well, I'm more concerned about Jen. So forget about the sister. But you're onto something.
All right.
Forget about the sister. Jen knew. Who cares about the sister? Jen knew.
Yeah.
Jen knew because Jen now knew because not only did her sister probably have a conversation with her about what the friend told, but the friend also told Jen herself, and Jen brushed it off. So
yep,
that would be something that a defense attorney, if Jen was a witness for the prosecution, that would be something that the defense attorney would question her on to try and make it seem like, well, you knew something was happening because you got to complain about it and you did nothing. So. And this is something that also the prosecution knew. But to William J., that was nothing but dirt under the bridge.
I think they didn't bring it. Well, they gave her that immunity. Mm-hmm. She said she didn't want it to become a, Woody Allen situation. So many things that she convicted herself of. The only other thing I can think of is that she's on so many psychiatric meds that she would get a defense attorney that would plead that she's not well in the head. So why send her to prison?
It's possible.
Well, that's the only thing I could think of.
We never know because, William J. already told us. He was very, very clear.
Dirt under the bridge.
That's what he said. And he's the prosecutor. There's nothing we could do about it because Madeline Soto was.
Dirt under the bridge.
Yep. Thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
Okay, take care.
All
right, bye.
Hey, what's going on, caller? Welcome to True Crime Strategic. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yo, what up, Strategic? This is Alex. I'm calling from Florida. I want to talk about an overlap we might have between the Madeline Soto case and the Miranda Corset case, specifically regarding the fact that they both involve two people. Mm-hmm. Let's call them a couple, even though that's not enough.
But before
really.
we continue, I don't know much about the Corset case, so I don't know how much I can add to what you're about to say. But please, I'm curious to what you're going to say. So please continue.
Oh, for sure. Well, it's awful. Let's just start it there. It's out of Pinellas County. Mm-hmm. I won't recount the whole thing. It's definitely something you're going to want to look into. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, essentially, it's a very similar situation. Mm-hmm. You had two adults taking advantage of a vulnerable young woman. Mm-hmm. And they ended up murdering her because, well, it's hard to say. They both, I think, are at fault, but they're turning against each other. They accused her of stealing like a ring.
Okay, I remember that.
And then they essentially,
one is like a drug addict or something like that, and she was a
huge drug addict.
And she had the young lady had a daughter or something, and met him on the internet.
I don't know if she had a daughter.
She had a daughter, and she met him on the internet, and the first meeting was okay. Like she spent the night, there was no violence, and then the second time she went over there is when he killed her. Is that the one? And the girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yep. The girlfriend was on drugs. Yep. And
it was on Valentine's Day, and like this dude,
she had a daughter.
He admitted to murdering animals.
Yeah, she absolutely had a daughter.
So it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the. I know we're on a different topic of the show, so here's kind of how I want to kind of signify it to your opinion as a professional, right?
Okay.
So like the deal. That's what I want to talk about. The sweetheart deal and Mr. Dirt under the bridge, right? Mm-hmm. So we're all concerned about how the state handled this. Okay. And I think we're really going to know how this goes if other people in other counties are also getting these crazy deals, right? Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because, it seems like they gave Stephan a deal without really any leverage, right? Like, unfortunately, for goodness, they found her body, right? They needed closure, I suppose, but just in the Miranda Corset case, it was the same thing.
Right.
They didn't really need any more information. So where's the strategic benefit of cutting the criminal a deal, right? So if it happens again, in a case where, laymanly speaking, it doesn't look like there's any strategic reason why the state would want to, like, bait like that, then we might have some problems, won't we?
Yeah, and you guys in Florida got to do something about it with the people you're electing,
Oh, absolutely. I concur. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to hold too long. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but hey, thank you for everything you do. Your show is great. Aki, you're great. The people, you're all great. Let's just remember right now we got to stay unified and love each other, right?
Absolutely.
Or else this horrible shit's going to keep happening.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you
All
for
right.
calling.
Peace.
All right. I see there's one more person who tried to call. Try and call back in. We'll take one or two more calls. So this is the opportunity. Those last final calls. Come on, call in, and we'll call it a day. I'm on vacation, so I don't got a bedtime, but you got to know when to call it. Know when to something else. I don't know the rest of the words, but it sounds real good. You got to know when to end the show. Welcome to True Crime Strategic. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, hey, it's Melanie from Connecticut.
What's up, Melanie? How you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're doing all right. What you got for us?
So I started watching your channel when this case kind of popped up.
Okay.
And your channel was great.
It was
and
great.
The whole time.
It was back in the day. It was great. But yeah, keep going.
No, it's still great. You're still great.
I'm teasing you. Go ahead.
The whole time I kept saying they don't need Jen to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't need to make a deal to get him. So I don't understand why they went for the deal. Like I think they just didn't want to go through the actual evidence of the videos. Like they didn't want to go through it and they just wanted to get that part over with.
Yeah, the problem that I have with that is that, listen, that's for you guys to feel that way. Us officers of the court, slaves of the justice system, I like to call us, we don't have those hangups. This is what we do every day. We have no problem playing every single video of whatever this guy did to Maddie. That we are desensitized. This is our job. You pay us to take that burden on. So I can't fathom that you would give Stephan Sterns a deal that would ensure that he is in cupcake land prison simply because you don't want to play the things that he did to Maddie in court. It's not like the courtroom would be filled anyway. The courtroom would be cleared. It would be nothing but the jury. We have systems in place to do it with dignity, but we're not doing it just to do it. We're doing it for a purpose, and that purpose is justice. So I hear you, but I hope that that's not the reason.
And I hope not either, because I feel like he should have got the DP. Like I don't understand why not make an example out of him from this point on. Like we not tolerating this, we not taking this no more. Like this case made me so sick to my stomach. Like every time I try to tell myself don't watch it, but I want to watch your channel. But it makes me sick.
Yeah. Now people in the chat are saying that it's the family one, and I do agree that the family agreed to this deal. But what people need to understand is that oftentimes prosecutors don't give a damn what the family wants. If that prosecutor wanted that death penalty to say, thank you, we're taking into consideration what you're saying, but we're going for the death penalty in the interest of the people, in the interest of society. That's why for many states, the law says the people versus John Doe, Jane Doe. Because when you commit a violent act, like what Stephan Sterns did, you commit that act against society, against everybody. So it's not just what best serves the family. And don't get me wrong, I think the family's input is very important. I don't want to sound like an a-hole, but it's what's best for society. I don't think society's being served well for him to be in one of the few air-conditioned prisons in Florida right now. Stephan Sterns is in a air-conditioned prison with poetry clubs.
Yeah.
That's not justice. It's not justice. Anything else?
Also, and one last thing, I also feel like it wasn't like they protected Stephan by not going through the trial in my eyes. And like I think somebody said something about like protecting Maddie's image and legacy, but it wasn't like her shame to bear. Like it was his shame that we protected and not putting out through like court. Like call out what he did and let them know that we're gonna call out what he did. So they don't get to hide. You got to hide.
You hit it right on the nail. It's not Maddie's burden to bear. Like, great call, man. I appreciate you for saying that, because you gotta understand, like, and I'm not making fun of the audience because you're not law enforcement officers. Many people are thinking with their emotions, with their feelings. They're like, oh, Maddie's legacy and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This is not Maddie's legacy. Her legacy is what her friends remember her as. Her legacy is what her grandmother remembers, what her aunties remember. That's her legacy, those special moments that they spent with her. All the evil and all the pain and all the sorrow is Stephan Sterns' burden to bear, not Maddie's legacy. Letting this guy get this bullcrap deal because people don't want him to go to court and have the video shown in court and all that stuff does nothing but serve the interests of Stephan Sterns. It does not serve Maddie's legacy because Maddie's in the grave right now and Stephan Sterns in an air-conditioned jail. Let's keep going. Thanks for calling. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. You have a good one. He's in an AC jail. And Strategic works his butt off as a detective, then on his free time comes on YouTube to try and build up this community. I can't even afford to turn on my AC. I don't know if you can see it. I got a fan. That's what's keeping me cool under these bright lights, not AC and all that stuff. I could only afford to turn this fan on. But Stephan Sterns is in a prison that has AC and Glee Club. Last call for the day. What's up, caller? How you doing? Welcome to True Crime Strategic. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello.
Hey, you got to pause that in the background.
Hi there.
How you doing? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Janelle. I'm from Connecticut.
Oh, another Connecticut caller. How are you?
Another Connecticut caller, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little shy, but
what are you shy for? You in your house. We can't see you.
So what I was thinking is that, so why would the prosecutors give him a cupcake deal, right? And you mentioned that, because I'm catching the tail end of your show,
okay.
But it was mentioned that the family approved it. So is it possible that Jennifer got an out somehow?
I don't know.
So
I think she had an out from day one. They gave her derivative use immunity. Well, he had no. I told people this from day one. I said, yo, this guy has. I use specific language, and I usually remember my verbiage because to me words have meanings. Words are powerful. Words are spiritual to me. I said the prosecutor does not have the will to prosecute Jennifer Soto, and I gave you guys a detailed reason why he didn't have the will. And this detailed reason was based off of my experience dealing with some of the top prosecutors in the nation in the state of New York where I work. We get the best talent. And I told you guys that many of these people are highly educated, very, very smart people. And they are very, very, very altruistic, very empathetic towards other people. And they looked at Jennifer Soto, and I think this is William J. too. They looked at Jennifer Soto and they saw that she has the mental health issues, which is documented. It's real. It's not made up. She really does have psychological issues. They saw and they heard her sob story. And I hate to say it like that, sob story. It's really, maybe I should use different terminology because I am empathetic towards her being a victim of SA. But they heard her story of being a victim of SA. So I take that back. I apologize because it's serious. Regardless of what happened to her daughter, what happened to her is serious. They took her story of SA, heard her story of SA, heard her mental health this, heard her that, heard all the issues that she has. And they said, hasn't she suffered enough? All these things happened to her, and her daughter was taken from her by manipulative Stephan Sterns. Has she suffered enough? She's going to have to live for the rest of her life knowing that she did not save Madeline, so that's enough punishment. And I told you guys that's the discussion they had in their little office because that's the discussion that I've been a part of for years. Dealing with prosecutors. They pick winners and losers. They do it all day long. It's not illegal. It's not corruption. It is their constitutional right and duty to pick winners and losers according to the law. And they picked Jennifer Soto as a winner. From day one, they did not want to prosecute this woman because she made so many inconsistent statements. It would have been a breeze to charge her as an accessory, or at the very least as a liar, or at the very, very, very least as a neglectful mother. They could have did it. They chose not to.
Yeah. So when you say that the family that is the Soto family that agreed to it as well.
My understanding is both families agreed to it. So Jennifer Soto and the father.
That's unreal.
In fact, they talked more about the
like
father agreeing to it than the Soto family. Every time I heard it, it was the father, this is what the father wanted, whatever. I mean, Jennifer Soto was pretty much like non-existent, but I do believe, and I also believe I heard that the Sotos agreed to it as well. But every time they reported it, the majority of the time they spoke mostly about the father wanting this deal.
Could we say that the justice system failed us here?
No.
Or this is where they fail us?
No. Nope. I think William J. failed us.
Why not?
Because we wanted the death penalty. He got life without parole. He's still in prison for the rest of his life. That is justice. There's no guarantee that a jury would have given him the death penalty. That's a gamble. That was not written in stone. In Florida, you have to go through a mini trial where a jury has to convict you of death penalty. They have to say, this is your punishment. Not convict you. You're already convicted, but they have to say, this is your punishment. Now, this guy, I always forget his name, and I purposely always forget his name, so the chat is going to help me out. The guy who shot up all those kids in the school in Florida, what is his name? The teenage dude who was mad weird, couldn't get a date if he paid him for it. What is this kid's name? I hate this kid. I forgot his name. Somebody in the chat, tell me quickly. Nicholas Cruz. Always forget his name. Nicholas Cruz, look what he did. Mass shooter. Killed a whole bunch of kids. Had manifestos, all types of evidence against him that he did it. Admitted to it. Was unrepentant of it on jail phone calls and all that stuff. He was having a great time being infamous. That's what he wanted. And you know why a death penalty jury decided not to give him capital punishment? They said because he had a tough life, because his mother died when he was young and he was adopted by a loving family. That made him have a tough life. And because he had a tough life, he wasn't abused, wasn't ex-abused, wasn't beaten. He was simply adopted because his parents died when he was young. That trauma of parents dying when he was young and him having to be adopted by a loving family that did the best that they could for him, that was enough for a jury to say, don't give him the death penalty, give him life without parole instead. Maybe they would have heard Stephan Sterns get hit on his head when he was a little kid by a car, or lose a Tamagotchi, or maybe, when he was 25, he lost a rare Pokemon card. And then that was so traumatizing. You know what? It was so traumatizing for him that he lost his Pokemon card, that he decided to do these horrible things. And guess what? They didn't want to give him the death penalty. Caller, thanks for being a good sport while I'm acting a fool. I appreciate you. You have a great night, okay?
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right, so we're going to end that right there. No more phone calls. That was a good caller. I'm over here being a fool, and she's over here being so patient with me. It is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, we're not happy that he did not go to trial, but justice was served. I don't want people to think for 1 second that justice wasn't served. The fact that Stephan Sterns pled no contest and is now serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole means that justice was served. But like everything in life, there's levels to this. And I just don't feel like this justice measured up to the justice that we expected and the justice that we deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long night. It's late night. Many of you have work in the morning and you're great sports and stayed on this live with me. I'm going to really ask for you guys to hit that like button so we can get into that algorithm so that YouTube can go ahead and share this with a wider audience and help us get to our goal of 100,000 subscribers. I had a great Great time talking to you guys today. I want you guys to discuss my theory inside of the comment section. Let me know if you agree with me. Do you believe that a secret deal was made between William J. and the defense of Stephan Sterns, allowing him to serve his time in cupcake prisons? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. Also, remember that we do have a membership and a Patreon. We look forward to seeing you guys join our family and support the channel in those various ways. Our last one is a $2 super chat from Warlike Fighter. We do appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.